we argue in the book that most institutional innovations in the United States, not most, all of them really have come from the states up. Before the U.S. Constitution was agreed in 1789, it was based on the experience of the states after independence from Great Britain. They experimented in their laboratories of the states with direct democracy, with different constitutions, and they had a mess, and they came up with the idea then, let's don't have a democracy, let's have a republic of delegated authority, because they didn't trust the public. That was the Founding Fathers. 100 years later, again from the states, was the progressive movement. The progressive movement said, those guys have become an aristocracy in favor of the rich. Those very much like today. There was technological change, industrial revolution. The representative democracy was captured by patronage systems and by railroad trusts and so on. So they said, we need to bypass the corrupt legislature with this idea of direct democracy they borrowed from Switzerland. Let's let the citizens make laws directly and go around the legislature. But they also understood at the time that if you give more power to the people, to go back to the deliberation point and the information and how people make decisions, but they also understood you have to have smart government. So they said at the same time we give people power, we want to have professionals run cities instead of cronies. That's when city managers were born. So you had a combination of direct democracy and let's call it technocracy in that progressive era. So it was 100 years after the founding. Well, we argue in the book, and so those were both positive experiences in their own right. In the book, we argue those two things need to be combined in the digital age. You need to take back some of the deliberative focus of the Founding Fathers that had some distrust, they had distrust of direct democracy. You have to take the experience of direct democracy and learning the faults of direct democracy, but understand that's what people want, and as a tool of their local community, of their somewheres, and put in the tools of deliberation and smart government. That's the third turn. We call it the third turn of American democracy. So that's kind of the progression, but to do that, you need to focus on these new deliberative institutions of democracy that are complementary to representative government. They're not the same as representative government because people have direct voice. That was not something that was possible or that anyone aspired to before the digital age. The digital age changes everything because everyone's a participant, everyone's in the game. And you have to accommodate that, not ignore it.